Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tilting Ground Untitled Notre Dame USC Football Podcast. I'm Michael Muto. I'm here with Notre Dame expert Greg Flamong. Greg, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Hey, I have a question.
All right, hit me.
Why do you call me an expert now?
Because you are.
But
If people search Greg Flamong on the internet, there will be a plethora or a litany of articles, tweets, facts, interactions that show how much you know about Notre Dame football.
a lot of goofballs write things. That doesn't make them expert.
No. I back it. So
Okay.
someone lets you write things, and I support your expertise.
All right, that's fair.
It's like on LinkedIn when someone says like they know Word, and you could back it or whatever it's called, or you can endorse it. I endorse your expertise.
Okay. I'm not complaining. I was just curious.
No.
You just started doing it without you didn't tell me you were gonna do that.
You know what? I was gonna bring this up.
Okay.
Because I said I dive in the ads now, and
Okay.
you posted an article about Brian Kelly's personnel problem, which I thought
I did.
Little homerism, but I thought it's great. Not only you're complaining about the coach, which all fans do, but you gave a reason. It's not like a super obvious reason. And it was well researched. You had facts to back up what you think might help the team. It was a nice point.
I put in videos, Michael.
I saw, and somebody on Twitter was like, "Thanks, Captain Obvious," or something like that. I was like, man, I almost got in there like an angry parent, and I was like, it started to write something. I was like, no, we can't do this. And then someone else was like, "Oh, I guess everyone can criticize," and I thought it was totally unfair because, like, you supported your thesis. It wasn't super outlandish. It wasn't just Brian Kelly sucks. Like it was. I was so mad. I was so mad on like Tuesday or whenever that came out.
When I started writing, I used to get obsessed with every comment that I would get. And this one got a lot. This one got a lot of comments, and
Well, it's good.
I usually don't. I mean, I want people to read it, obviously, and I don't I welcome discussion, but some things that are on the site, especially, I just kind of let them go because it's I can't have a drawn out discussion with everybody,
No.
and I feel like if I need to do that, then I didn't make my point well enough in the piece. So it's I kind of feel like it speaks for itself.
I just thought that this was such it was a good topic. It was very specific, and it just to people to come with the thanks Mr. Obvious, and everyone can criticize. It just killed me. I was like, of all the things, I'm sure there's things you've written where there was a little too on the nose, and you could say things like that. But this one was very specific.
I think, this is my third season, I think, writing. So over time, I've learned that a lot of people aren't going to like the things that I put out
Correct.
on the internet world. So that's fine. All good. It doesn't bother me anymore.
Any publicity is good publicity, right? At least they read it.
That's right. Unless it comes from my dad, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I should do better.
He's your harshest critic.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm the easiest one, so
that's correct.
We're super bearing the lead, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I assume we want to start with USC.
I feel like the season officially is on. It's on now. Notre Dame had their close game that they ended up losing, and SC had their instant classic. So we're officially in the college football season here.
It's here. Let me tell you, Greg. Faith and belief are just very strange feelings and emotions and things to have. I honest to God, when Texas scored with, what was it, 45 seconds left?
Uh-huh.
I started to write the text to you that said, and I got about 3/4 of the way through it. I was going to say, of course, the image of USC's perfect season ending is Jack Jones falling down in coverage. I said no. I stopped. I said, I believe the guy. These guys scored with 5 seconds left. Why can't they score with 45? They just need a field goal.
and they started the drive at the end of the first half with like 19 on the clock. So I was like,
Yeah.
they scored a touchdown in that situation. So obviously with 45 seconds. And look, I mean, Sam Darnold is a magician.
Yeah.
And
When you have a generational talent playing quarterback for your team, not even the coaches can screw it up.
oh man, you can't. You can't. I mean, the kid always knows where the ball needs to go, and then when he puts it there, it's just perfect.
I mean, even the first Texas touchdown wasn't his fault on the interception. His dumb receiver dropped the ball.
That is correct. It's true. I mean, and it's so sad too because then I watch my team and we can't complete an out route.
No, they can't. It was just it. It was just crazy. It was crazy
So
to know.
you had to be a little nervous, just like going into it, right? Just because like they kept talking about the '06 game.
I just want to get this out. I want to get this out of the way right now.
Let's do it.
Number 4, now number 5 USC beating an unranked Texas team that lost to Maryland with a true freshman at quarterback is in no way, shape, or form redemption for losing the national title game to Texas. No. It's not. I saw that somewhere. I think it was in the LA Times. And it's like not even close.
No.
And I was surprised that Vince Young was available on a Saturday afternoon. Who knew he could have been on the sidelines?
Well, I mean, so what? That was 11 years ago. I mean, these kids were like what in 3rd grade when this happened.
Yeah, they don't even remember.
They don't remember.
I'm surprised
they don't
Burnett
care.
who knew who Matt Leinart was when he shook his hand.
Exactly.
He's like, that's the guy from TV.
Exactly. So, it was a great game.
Great's probably not the right word.
Well, no, I mean it was as far as just
memorable
competitive contests go. I mean, it's fantastic. That's why we watch sports.
That's true.
I mean, records and all that aside, like, look, there were multiple instances. I mean, look, the two teams raised the level of play for each other, and that's all that you really want, right? Like, you want to see the game be decided by people making plays, and you've got the Texas kid, like they're throwing it up the big receiver, and he's jumping up and just jumping over people and making great catches. Like, this isn't terrible coverage. And you've got the multiple 4th down plays on really good throws and great catches. You have, Sam Darnold freaking about to get beat down on a blitz. The guy comes free and he's doing jump passes, like perfect throws. I mean, that's
all those things did happen.
Yeah, like that's what sports is. So that's what I mean. Like, all right. It's a great game. It was a great game.
I know, you're right.
But I was convinced the moment on game day when I saw a tweet. I don't watch game day because, I mean, for the same reason I don't watch like CNN because
fake news.
Well, like why do I need to listen to people make guesses about things?
Right. We could, nowadays in 2017 we could find the information we want. We don't. We don't need the game day yahoos to tell us.
And there's better people like all over like the internet or like on Twitter who like actually bring analysis to the discussion and not just platitudes.
But it's not Saturday if I don't see that gorgeous Washington State flag flying in the background.
Oh, see, I'm all set. I don't need to see it.
Oh.
And Desmond Howard, I saw a tweet. They asked him if Texas had a puncher's chance. And he said, absolutely not. And I was like, okay, well, obviously this game is going to be fantastic because we only have 100 years of college football history to know that any team ever has a puncher's chance. Like, all teams have a puncher's chance.
That's why it's called a puncher's chance.
Exactly. Especially a team like Texas. It's like, what? This would be the first time there's ever been an upset? Jesus. Freaking Desmond Howard.
I did think halfway through the game, I was like, what's interesting is if you're a true Tilting Ground Untitled Notre Dame USC football podcast fan, this is our 3rd Texas game.
It is.
it's their fourth quarterback, which is even weirder. But
It's true. And Notre Dame, they had their classic game last year.
yeah, so
So
I just thought that was a weird thing. It didn't even strike me last week that we've seen all these Texas guys like grow up.
yeah. Dude, that Malik Jefferson kid.
He's
oh my
good.
God. I tweeted out he's like Jalen Smith, except, for Texas. But they're gonna waste him. Like they're not gonna have a player like him in a really long time. And they're just gonna waste him. He's gonna come and go, and he'll get picked in like the top 10 next year.
Yeah.
And
he's good.
He's out of it.
He's fast. He can cover. He can hit. He can tackle. He's good.
He's a monster.
It's 3 years of this too. It's not like some flash in the pan thing.
I mean, besides Darnold, he's the best player on the field.
All right. I mean, he's an All-American.
Who was better yesterday? Who was better?
I mean, USC's undefeated when Deontay Burnett scores a touchdown. This is like his fifth straight 100-yard game or something.
If they were drafting, Malik Jefferson would go ahead of Deontay Burnett.
Yes, he would. He probably would be in the top 3 players taken.
He would be in the top 2 players taken. Anyway, continue.
You rattled me here.
Sorry.
It's okay. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this one. It's just like I said before. Sam Darnold's so good that not even the coaches can blow this. And I think Notre Dame may have a similar problem. It's the coaches just getting in the way of good players. Like Ronald Jones is good. You saw him score, like a 50-yard, touchdown with no time left, running across the field.
He's very good.
You see Stephen Carr get a little crease and get 10 yards just like that. Everyone knows Sam Darnold's good. And it's just, the O-line was having a little trouble yesterday. It's going to happen. It happens to every team every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, let's try to do cutbacks. Let's try to, go between the tackles. Let's not use a lead blocker. It's just like, come on, guys. Like, I get it. You're the coach, and you think your team's better than Texas, and you're not going to change what you do because in the back of your mind that would seed defeat or something, or it would show that Texas is affecting your game plan. It's like, but you know what? Your players are better than their players. Like, put your guys in a place to succeed. And running the same garbage run plays, just diving into the line of scrimmage, isn't going to put your guys in a place to succeed. And, thank God that Jalen Green dropped that ball for an interception touchdown return because it got some of the freshmen out there. It got, Trayvon Sidney? He caught a few balls.
It was Tyler Vaughns, I think.
Tyler, I get him confused.
Yeah.
They both went to Bishop Motley. Both their names start with T.
Yeah.
It's hard. What's his name? Vias Jones. He dropped a big one.
He did.
Oh, that was rough. But at least he threw it to him.
Yeah.
Who else was out there? Joe Lewis finally got his first pass of the season. A little screen thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to see the youth out there, But like I was saying, I just wish that there's maybe a little more creativity, or maybe let Sam Darnold go. Like, just have him run around and see what happens. Like, what's the worst that could happen? He throws 2 interceptions a game anyways, so whatever. Like, the defense is used to it.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just feel like it was very uncreative. And when you have the better players, you don't get cute, but don't be stubborn. It's kind of like a weird thing, Like I say one thing, mean another. I don't know. Like, because they had the third running back, Malapie.
Uh-huh.
He came in on a 3rd and 1. And it's like, come on, guys, what are you doing? Like, he definitely shouldn't get the ball on 3rd and 1 when the game's still close. Like, that just shouldn't happen. Sorry.
And it didn't work out.
Yeah, go figure. It didn't work out. It's like any play is probably better than that one. That's like the 6th best play you can call right there.
Well, not just that, but the other guy was in the game too. Ware was in the game with him.
Yeah,
so I get it. You don't even have either of your top 2 backs in there.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting though. It's interesting how like viewing this from my perspective, which is why we wanted to do the podcast like this, because like last week, Notre Dame struggled running the ball against Georgia. And the takeaway from it was, I mean, this offensive line is trash, right? Like that's what, I mean, I think everyone in Notre Dame world, I mean, not so much that they were trash, but like they're overrated. And it's like they're not going to be able to carry us like we thought. So like everyone was down on the whole unit, you know? And then this week, Notre Dame runs for 500 yards. But even now, like, I don't know what to think about that.
No, I know what you're saying.
And because we saw them do poorly against a good team. But when I watch USC, like, even though I know, like, I watched the whole game. So I know they couldn't run on Texas. Like, they couldn't. But I still felt like every time they give the ball to Ronald Jones, like he's about to break one. So like I still feel like man, Ronald Jones is gonna kill us.
Well, yeah, and I just felt like yesterday they weren't putting him in a position to succeed.
But that like they're running all the same stuff. You know what I mean? Like they run the plays that they run. It's like I just have full faith that USC will figure it out. But I don't have that faith in Notre Dame. And obviously, like, I have, like, SC has a track record of figuring these things out, and Notre Dame does not. So, you know, there's that. But it's just different. It's just weird when you look at it from, like, the other, like, kind of an outside point of view.
Well, I fully agree with you. So, USC will be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame won't. But, yeah, I don't know. It just felt like Texas got to hang around. And I know some of it's poor execution, like receivers dropping balls. I think they said in the first half, like 8 of Darnold's 11 incompletions were drops or something like that. And it's like, okay, well, that's not really the coach's fault. I mean, maybe it is because the receivers should know how to catch the ball by now.
It's not a coaching game fault.
Yeah, it's not like a strategy.
It's not a game plan problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I just would have liked to see something different. Once you know that the Texas defensive line really came to play and the linebackers are making plays, maybe more stuff around the edge. I just felt like they weren't really attacking the edges. And I know Texas is fast. And I felt like every time they did it, they got like 10 yards. Like I think? Things were there. Yes.
I think football is a lot easier when things like the rules aren't applied to your side of the ball.
Are you talking about the slick cover in USC cornerbacks?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that, like the blatant holding that is just going unchecked.
As a fan of Quentin Nelson or Richardson, whatever his name is, Quentin Nelson, you should know that holding's okay some of the time.
I mean, look, I'm not like, there's one thing if it's the offensive line, like you got receivers like running in the open field. In the open field, and it's like holding him, and it's like the ball is going off the kid's fingertips. It's just like, nah.
No, the best part was the announcers covering for the officials.
But how terrible? How terrible is Joel Klatt?
Oh, he gets your game next week, I think. So.
Unbelievable!
It's back-to-back weeks of that clown.
Oh my goodness,
I feel like he used to be good, and then. Like he got kind of famous and turned into just like a talking head or just like a hot take machine.
I mean, they were carrying water last night.
Ugh.
I couldn't believe it. And then on the one play when who's number 42?
What's his name? That's
Nwosu. He grabs the kid's helmet, the quarterback, and jerks it sideways, and then, you know, the kid throws it, and frickin' Marvell Tell, my guy. Although I have to say, the safety play from Notre Dame, I don't know if we need Marvell Tell so much. I would still take him, but it's not a weakness like I thought. Anyway.
I mean, you know, Boston College, all right? Cool it, buddy.
Still, though, I'm not totally concerned. Anyway, great play by him. But so the kid throws the interception, and it's like they're at like the 15, and he looks at the ref, and the ref's like, "Nope, like didn't grab your face mask," and he's probably thinking, "Yeah, but you can't really hit the quarterback in the head ever." And
Not tonight.
And it just like, and he just totally pulls it, and his face like turns. And it's like, nope, didn't grab the face mask. It's like, okay, but
because he didn't. He didn't grab the kid's face, but his forearm did come across the quarterback's head,
and he did grab the side of his helmet. He did. That's why his face turned, and that's roughing the passer. Like it just is. You can't hit the quarterback in the head. You can't.
It's just that stupid. Yeah, it's that targeting rule. Like. It's why Cameron Smith got ejected from the
first half. God. And it just the guy's looking right at it, and he's like, "Nope,
clean."
And Joel Klatt's like, "It's a great call. He didn't grab his face mask." I've never felt gaslit during a football broadcast, but Joel Klatt brought that to me.
I don't even think it crossed Joel Klatt's mind that, and he's a former quarterback.
I know.
So he should look out for his guys.
I know. It's great.
It was nice. I will say this, to have the referees helping you out. I'm usually on the other side of that, or I usually don't remember the times when the referees do help you out. So since it's so fresh in my mind, I will. It was just nice to have them call it a clean game.
They got Texas on the fake punt.
I mean, he held him. What do you want? What do you want from me?
No, he did. They caught all the penalties on one side. I mean, we were texting, like, thank goodness that USC kept jumping off sides, because I mean,
it would look real lopsided.
Starts, they wouldn't have had any penalties. Just no penalties. Kids running a post route, running free. Freaking Jack Jones just tackles him. Like, nope, clean, let it go.
You see his hand on his hip there. But he's not turning him, so it's okay.
Yeah. See how he's not turning him? See, even though he's holding him, he's not turning him, and that's
what Klatt said. That's what Joel Klatt told me.
Joel Klatt.
That's what the umpires are looking for. They're looking for a turn.
See how he's not turning him? Jesus. Anyway,
which is shocking, because USC is good for a pass interference at least twice a game. So.
That's the best part. They're actually known for it.
Yeah, that's what they do. Which is fine. I like the aggressive DB play. Whatever.
Can we talk for
a
couple minutes about how good Deontay Burnett is?
Oh, it's unreal.
He's phenomenal.
He did drop a ball though.
I know, but who cares? Like,
it's like a rite of passage during a USC game now.
He's just a guy. Like, you know what the most impressive one was, and I can't remember like which drive this was, or even when it was in the game. But Sam Darnold was scrambling around, and Burnett, like, he ran like a little goofball out route, and they covered it, and then he takes a look to the middle of the field, and he sees it's open, and he just takes a beeline to the middle of the field, and of course Sam Darnold sees him. And he just kind of floats it over the linebacker. And it's like, dude, that's street ball. Like, it's not even –
it's what they do, man.
Yeah, like, it's just totally improvised. Like, he found an opening, and he just made a play. And the kid's like, he's making diving touchdown catches in the corner. Like,
and it's always those two, though. It's no one else does it.
Yeah, and it's like
those two.
It's every week, and he's just so good, and he runs like those screens so well too.
Oh yeah, he was. They started the game with those. He had like 40 yards in like 3 plays.
Yeah, he's great.
They went away from it.
He's great. He's really good.
It
makes me sad.
On the same page as Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
So I mean. Makes it even better. The touchdown in overtime was just beautiful. Just beautiful. First play of overtime.
It was great. It was a great concept too. Like the double post on cover 2, and the safety, jumps the first post, and then he comes behind him, and the corner's trailing. He can't get over the top. And of course, he ran a great route.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if you were thinking. I mean, I don't know if you thought this, but like, I just thought it was a terrible mistake by Texas not to go for two at the after they scored in the first overtime.
I like when teams do that, like just go for the win. Like it's a 50-50 proposition.
Well, especially in
You're on the
their
road.
especially in their position because you have what are you going to do? You're going to go toe to toe with Sam Darnold?
No one
Like, is
does
that
that.
what you're going to do? Like this freshman quarterback is like giving you everything he has, and like the thing about playing defense first is you ensure that when the other team's offense is on the field, they can't win the game. They can't win the game on offense if they play offense first. So it's like you either give up a touchdown because no one goes for two when they go on offense first. No one.
I mean, you just can't.
Right. So you know that no matter what, you can score a touchdown and then go for two and win the game without their quarterback coming on the field, because that was the biggest problem for Texas all night is we picked off Darnold at the end of the first half and scored a touchdown, but then he got the ball back. And then we scored to go up with 45 seconds left, but then he got the ball back. In this situation, you can score and then ensure that Darnold never gets the ball back because the game will be over. And instead, it's like, okay, we're going to score a touchdown. Then we're going to have to run 5 more plays.
Yeah, see what happens.
And see what happens. Like, why do you want to run so many more plays with your freshman quarterback who's getting his ass kicked?
That kid took some
He
shots
totally did.
too.
Like, he played such a great game, and he was just like, it was just one play too many that he had to make. And I mean, that's what happens. Like, I just don't know
And
why. I don't know
USC
why.
was down like 5 starters.
Yeah,
Defense.
like, I don't know why you just don't say, you know what, like, we're gonna do it now. And I told my wife, I thought they used their 2-point play to score the touchdown. Because when they rolled right and threw back to the tight end, I was like, that's a 2-point play. And I think they scored on like first or second down. I was like, why don't you just try to score conventionally and then run that back on the 2-pointer?
Because they can't snap to the quarterback and you got to get all the plays they can.
That's another thing. But you know what? That's another reason why, like, you should just go for two.
It's true. Yeah. Why
Because
go play offense again? You can't even get your snaps.
Yeah, like, how many times did they fuck up the snap?
Like real bad ones, like 4 or 5, and then like dicey ones for like another like 4 or 5.
Yeah, and then they had multiple false starts too. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm with you, man.
But I mean, again, USC made the plays.
Well, they have the player
as they want to do. Yep.
So hopefully, this is if you're an unranked team coming into the Coliseum, USC fans, be wary.
Well, and now, like, you have to look at what's going on with Stanford and kind of feel like, well, maybe.
I feel like we did this last year too. Like Stanford kind of like fell apart a little early. Like, well, they're not that bad.
Well, but they kind of like USC kind of beat them up, and then they lost to San Diego State.
That is a bad loss.
It's not great.
But I mean, they probably know Washington's on fire. Washington's that kid that scores special teams touchdowns every week. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I still think Stanford's good-ish.
Okay. I mean, they'll probably beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Any other quick takeaways from the game before we switch over?
No. I wanted to talk about the refs. I want to talk about Dante Burnett. And I want to talk about
going for two.
Going for two. Yeah. That really bothered me they didn't go for two.
They should have. I got one more thing. I timed my meal planning wrong for the game.
Oh,
so
no.
I was getting pizza as the third quarter started.
Okay.
And I got to listen to the game on the radio.
Mm.
Oh, it was such an enjoyable experience.
How great is the radio?
oh, it's just the Homer calls and like the fun little stories and like they tell me who all the guys are. Batiku got to play a lot more because Porter Gustin was hurt, and it's like, oh, okay, they're telling me who's in, and it's they barely talk about the other team. Oh, it's just so biased that I loved it. I loved every second of it.
You know what's great about the radio is you can hear the tension from the crowd through the radio in a way that you can't on TV.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed.
organic on the radio, whereas the TV, it's a production.
You're not quite on TV. It just doesn't sound right either. Like,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
They got to hit the mic for the fans to hear the fans, so you don't know if they're gaming you or not.
Yeah,
the radio, like, oh, you know what the stadium sounds like. If it's rocking, you can hear everybody cheering and yelling and singing and stuff.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give a shout out to the USC radio guys, and I wish there was a way. I may do the turn the mute, hit mute, and listen on my phone or something.
Well, the problem with that though is like if you're watching, it's going to be delayed.
I know.
Well, that's a terrible way to watch.
This is true. I feel like it's 2017. I can figure something out. I can get the delay just right.
Okay.
I don't know. I may try it. Also, I found out about a USC legend who I did not know about, and I consider myself a pretty knowledgeable Trojan, even though I forget special teams coaches' names every now and then. It was a guy named whoops, I had it up right there. It was C.R. Roberts, and I guess he was a black fullback for USC, and they went to Texas back during segregation.
Uh-huh.
And this was before Sam Bam Cunningham and him playing in Alabama during segregation. So they had him on. It was kind of an interesting story. So I'd never heard of C.R. Roberts before. So if you're a USC fan, go look him up. I think they're making a documentary about him. That's why he was there. So
okay.
It's a cool story about how the team, they had to find a hotel where the whole team could stay at. And the sad history of segregation in America. But, USC fighting for equal rights in the South on multiple occasions.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for the Trojans.
All right, Greg, let's go to you. Oh.
Well, you got Cal.
I got Cal coming up.
You got Cal coming up.
Undefeated Cal.
Yeah, apparently they're like a thing.
We got Rasheem Green's hurt, so that's good.
Not
Porter
good.
Gustin's hurt.
Porter Gustin. He's got a.
Genie Harris is banged up though. Let's see. Who else is hurt on defense? John Houston didn't play this game, so who knows if he plays again this week. Cam Smith did something to his hand, and then he came right back in, but I don't know what that was. It looked like he was really hurt too.
It did.
I thought that was going to be really bad, but he was back on the next play, so good for him.
Just remember that football is hard, and a lot of time something happens and you're like feeling the worst pain you've ever felt in your life, and then like a minute later it goes away and you keep playing. Then it's just standard pain.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, take the needle. I saw Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
What's it called? There may be a true freshman starting at right tackle. Like, whatever.
Yeah, man. It's at Cal, right?
It's at Cal.
I assume, since SC hasn't played away from home yet.
No, it's at Cal. Don't worry.
Okay.
Cal's 3-0, 2-1 against the spread. You guys see a cool 1-2 against the spread. Some idiot jinxed it this weekend. That was me. I have full faith. I think it was 18. I just had it up. There we go. It was 16 or 18. 16. USC is a 16-point favorite. The game's on ABC.
What time?
12:30.
12:30, huh?
I will. Where will I be? I might miss the beginning. I'll be traveling this weekend. I have full faith in the Trojans.
You do?
This isn't the Cal. They haven't. God, famous last words. They haven't lost to Cal in like 15 years. Like the last time it was close. I think Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback.
We're not talking about losing. We're talking about covering.
Oh, that's true. I always will give the points. though. Every time I've done it, I've lost.
Yeah, I'm taking. I mean, it's 3 straight weeks. You just had an overtime game, and you're going on the road.
Well, I guess actually they covered against Stanford. So, but yes.
Yeah, they're going on the road. I mean, they'll win by like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought just give all season. Just give the point. Just check me down for giving the points. No
Okay.
fear. No fear. No fear in Sam Darnold.
All right. All right. You ready to talk about my
Boring.
my military academy football team?
Pretty much. Pretty much. That game is, I think, a lot closer than the score indicates.
Well, it was
maybe not
14
closer, but
it was 14-10 at halftime. It was 14-10 at halftime, and I was texting my friend, who she's a Ohio State fan, and I was texting her if they were done with Urban Meyer yet, and if we could have him.
I mean, it still might be on the table.
She doesn't. She has never liked Urban Meyer.
You don't like Urban Meyer.
Well, I mean, but
you'd take him.
He's a great coach. I mean, I would, of course, I would take him. Jesus. No, like she was trashing him like while they were winning a national championship.
Wow. At least she's consistent.
Yeah, no, she is not a homer in that regard. Not a fair weather fan. So yeah, but yeah, so I mean, it didn't look great. Like we couldn't complete a pass. I mean,
you still couldn't even when the game was over.
I know, but like we didn't need to at that point because like in the second half, like every third play was like a 60-yard run. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Right.
I haven't even like wrapped my head around what happened yet, or how to feel about it.
I'm right there with you. I watched. It was nice that the USC game and the Notre Dame game were
it
on
was
at the same time.
It was perfect.
But yeah, it's Notre Dame plays like garbage for a whole half. And I got to watch this boring offense with, and Brandon Wimbush just go like, what was it, like 4 for 11 all to Alizé Mack.
Yeah.
And some running backs.
Yeah.
And then like suddenly, I kind of look up and it's like, oh, okay, this thing's out of control now because they just ran right down Boston College's throat. It's like, does that mean they're good? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's nice to be able to do it. It's funny because the Dexter Williams thing. I mean, the guy got 1 carry in the first half, and then he didn't get another carry to the third quarter, and he finished with 6 carries for 50 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Shocking what happens when he gets the ball.
The guy leads the team, like leads running backs in touchdowns. He gets like 12 carries on the year. I don't know. Like it's hard. I can't even. I don't know what to think. Like it's weird they can't complete a pass. It's weird that,
right?
Like they can't. Like they can't do like simple, like just a little out route. Like all the stuff that USC does that you take for granted. Like he gets the ball and he flings it out there for a wide receiver screen, and you judge the success or failure of the play on like whether or not the receivers get their blocks and whether or not they execute that. So is it going to be a 5-yard gain or is it going to be like a 15-yard gain? For Notre Dame, it's like, can we execute the throw and the catch of it?
No, they cannot.
And sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. Like we run a little slant route and that gets dropped. We run a dig route and that gets overthrown. We run a go route and that gets overthrown. I mean, we run like some combination route and he doesn't see it, or like the one side is covered, so he just like, I got to get out of here. So then he tries to run in a clean pocket and he doesn't look to the other side of the field. And like the routes are boring. It's I don't want to say it's predictable, but it's just like a in route corner or a curl go or something. Like it's not very innovative.
It's not the Memphis offense, that's for sure.
No, who put up like half 100 on UCLA. And I know UCLA is like poo poo, but
I mean, Boston College is world beaters.
I mean they usually have a good defense. But like I'm not asking for a lot that we could freaking run a dig route.
Just, just more than like a standard like 200 yards passing would be fine,
Or
right?
just like show me you can execute basic fundamentals of the passing game. Like that's all I'm really looking for, you know. And the funny thing is I was telling Tim, he called me this morning, and
Tim,
like
who by the way, going back to who looks like Sam Darnold. My significant other, Tracy, said it during the game too.
Tim
He's like,
Norcus looks like Sam
yes,
Darnold.
Tim Norcus looks like Sam Darnold.
I
They
have
have the
never
same.
thought that.
They have the same like. Sam Darnold has like more of a fighter pilot jawline, but other than that, like mouth up, they look the same.
Okay,
They got
that's
like the
fair.
same nose, they got the same eyes, they got the same
Great.
hairline.
Now I feel like my former best man is playing quarterback for USC.
I'm just trying to help help bring it home for you.
How fantastic! Um, no, I was talking to him, and I need to write. I need to write, right? And in the off season, I have to write articles, even though it's the off season. And if I'm going to write about the team and I'm going to make predictions about the team, then I have to extrapolate what I can from practice reports and beat writers who follow the team. And luckily for me, like Notre Dame is a team that has like a lot of beat writers, right? So they have like Blue and Gold Illustrated, and they have Irish Illustrated, and they have Irish Sports Daily, and they have the South Bend Tribune. So like there's so many people who report on the team that who are going to practices, that I can get a pretty good idea of what I feel like the team is going to be good at. And when it was reported on Brandon Wimbush throughout the spring and throughout the summer, it was never, like not even one time was there a concern about how accurate he was. Not one time.
You tried to sell me on that on
And
our season preview show.
and it's hard because I feel like a goofball because I'm sitting there saying, accuracy won't be a problem, and it's a huge freaking problem. And it's not like, I'm not blaming them, right? Because like they're reporting it too. They don't want to sound wrong.
Well, I
But
assume he
like,
wasn't like missing guys in practice and like, oh no, we're just gonna forget
yeah,
this.
like that's not what they
I'm
do.
sure he looks good.
Right.
Like
That's
they're
not what they do.
liars.
So like I don't know. I don't know what to make of the fact that I'm watching the games and it's like every pass he throws, I don't think it's going to be complete.
Never.
So, I mean, like, is this going to get better? Like, how will it get better? Like, I mean, he'll just like, is it nerves?
It
Is it
looks a little
him just
nervy.
kind of pressing? I mean, it does. And like you look at him on the sideline and he knows, like even after his long runs, like he scored 4 rushing touchdowns. So, and like a 65-yarder and a whole bunch of other ones, like, and you can see afterwards on the sideline, like it's sheepish. Like, yeah, I did this thing, but I can't throw right now. And I need to be able to throw. So it's like he knows. But it's like I've never seen these coaches like I'm not used to the offensive coaches. I'm not used to whatever they're trying to do. I just don't know. So it's just weird. Like I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. Like should I feel great? Like they rush for 500 yards. Like that's crazy. That's
Two guys had
insane.
200 yards.
Yeah, the quarterback in Adams, they had over 200 yards.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, and then they bring in Dexter Williams, and then he's running for 50 yards on 6 carries. Like in the second half, like they never stopped them. But they didn't look incredibly good running the ball in the first half either. So
And they never looked good throwing.
it's just one of those things. Like you know what? It's a game that they played that they can get better off of.
I don't know, man.
They won it. What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. Like I know what you're saying. Like, okay, they didn't lose. Like, you always get better, but the passing looks garbage. It just looks bad, and it didn't look like it was getting better. I think they just not lucked out, but they have a good run. They have a good running game. They have good running backs, so they just kind of wore Boston College down. And then I don't know, like what happens when you play? Is Michigan State good? I mean, what happened when you played Georgia? Like, I know it was the second game of the season, but if you can't throw the ball, like that's bad. That's not a good thing.
No.
I mean, that sounds like football 101. I get it, but it looks non-existent. Like you see the numbers, like 96 yards. Like that's terrible. What did he have against Georgia? Was it over 100? It had to be over 100.
No. He had 200 yards.
Yeah.
No, it's getting worse.
It's just like, what are you guys doing?
Because Temple was pretty efficient, and Georgia was less so. And then this was like, okay, wait, we can't do basic stuff. I don't know. I just like just thinking about it. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
I don't know what to say other than we assume that because look, Stanford couldn't throw the ball this weekend either, and we assume they're just gonna I assume they'll just figure it out. They're not gonna be this bad forever, right? And maybe they will. Like sometimes teams struggle, right? Like SC couldn't run the ball this weekend. Like maybe the lack of ability for Notre Dame to run the ball against Georgia was similar to the way USC couldn't run the ball.
They'll bounce back.
And they did. I mean, they ran for 500 yards. It's still Boston College. Like in 2015, Boston College, they held Notre Dame to 19 points. So,
I mean, SC's had their run-ins with Boston College as well. They play some stout defense every now and then.
Yeah, so what I mean by saying it was a game that they play they didn't play well, and I'm not assuming, but it's they got through it. They figured it out in the end. They won by 30, and now you have to go and beat Michigan State. You just got to do it. Michigan State's not that good.
The defense looked good.
Yeah, they looked all right.
I mean, it looked fine, yeah.
Yeah,
they were not the problem. Let's just say that.
They were not the problem. They played good enough, I guess. I mean, my man Sean Crawford.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Let's just talk about the fact that he is everything that I want him to be and more. The guy, he just makes plays. He's played in 4 full games, and he has 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery and 4 passes broken up. And this is that's like 3 full seasons for Adoree Jackson. You know what I mean?
And the Thorpe Award, but yes.
And the Thorpe Award. But I'm just saying, if he was returning punts and stuff, people would be like, "Oh, John Crawford's good stuff."
Maybe he should be returning punts and stuff because that doesn't look so hot for Notre Dame either.
He's just a playmaker. He's out there making plays. So God bless that kid, man. Torn ACL, torn Achilles, out
good
there
for him.
doing stuff. Yeah,
good to see you back.
Love it. But they did things pretty well, but they didn't play a great game. They certainly weren't dominating, but it's you watch plays and it's yeah. He needs to get off a block a little bit sooner, or he needs to hit that gap a little bit harder, or he needs to break on that ball a little bit better. But you don't watch and just oh my God, that's a huge mistake that guy just made. That's not happening. But it's if you're gonna have a game like that, let it be against Boston College. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And then next weekend, hopefully you play better and, beat Michigan State.
So Brian Kelly did something. It seemed like classic Brian Kelly for me. So the game's close, like we said, for most of it. I think it was the third quarter. Notre Dame scores a touchdown to go ahead. And then, what do? They do that goofy kick slash move everyone to go for two, but then Boston College covered it right, so they move everyone to go back to the kick, and then it's a delay game penalty because all that took way too long. I feel like that's just the most Brian Kelly thing. Like your team is struggling, they're trying, they're clawing, they're doing their best to play hard, and they finally score a touchdown. And what does he do? He kills the momentum with a stupid penalty. That is on him by having the guys move around and all that wacky stuff just to get an extra point. It's just, I feel like it was just such a momentum killer. And then, luckily for them, the running game got going, and that's an afterthought. But if it stayed close.
It absolutely was a Brian Kelly thing. It absolutely was. And I was happy with them taking the penalty because, first of all, you can't burn a timeout on a PAT because you're trying some shenanigans, freaking, circus stuff. You can't. Like, that's a fireable offense if you take a timeout in the second half, especially.
Yeah, no.
So he was smart to say, no, like, just take the delay a game and we'll just kick this stupid thing and we'll be fine. And the kid did. He kicked it right down the middle, so thank goodness. But like you, I'm sitting there watching this, like, what like, and why? Like,
just be efficient. Just convert. Just be efficient, man.
Like, first of all, the extra point is putting you up 8. So, like, you want to do that? Like, you want to go up 8. And I get it. It would be nice to go up 9 because then it's a 2-score game. But still, like, are you worried about that against Boston College? Just kick the extra point and let's move on with our day. But he did not, of course.
Of course.
And it's one of those things, like, since it didn't end up mattering in the end, people don't really talk about it. Like, I had forgotten about it, so thank you for bringing it up.
It killed. I was kind of like doing other things at that moment. Around my place.
It's so.
I was like, what are they doing? Because after a touchdown, like, you're not really paying attention.
It's so needless. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you?
Yeah, it was just so Brian Kelly.
And then it's like, and then it was kind of Keystone copy, where it's like, oh, we gotta, like, they were gonna try to rush the extra point. Ugh.
It was so good.
Yeah. Well.
Speaking of bad coaching, if you watch the game, what on earth was the Boston College coach doing at the end of the first half with 2 timeouts, almost in field goal range?
It was special.
It was like 2nd and 5 or something. What? I wouldn't. If I was the AD, I wouldn't even let him come back down.
No. They had the ball at, like, the Notre Dame 45 with 12 seconds left. They had 2 timeouts. And the quarterback had just thrown a pass that was, like, either dangerous. Oh, no. He had just gotten sacked or something. And they ran a draw for, like, 3 yards. And the play ended with 8 seconds left. And they just ran off the field. And I'm like, why don't you just call timeout with 1 second left and throw the ball in the end zone? Like,
right?
Because what's going to happen? Like, are you afraid of an interception returned for a touchdown? Like, you're Boston College. You have nothing to lose. Like, everyone expects you. You're the freaking 14-point underdog. Throw the ball in the end zone. I mean, look, thank you for not.
It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
We'd be remiss, though, if we didn't bring up just the abomination that was the ESPN crew.
Who called it? I don't even remember now.
It was Steve Levy and Brian Greasy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Greasy.
Just, I mean, like, miscalling players, like, saying things that are happening that, like, aren't happening. Like, of course, they show, like, the Brian Kelly press conference. I mean, it's like, what? It's like, I understand that it was a question earlier in the week, but it's like it's just not a story anymore. It just isn't. Especially when he came out afterwards and was like, "Yeah, I could have handled that better." Like he already said, acknowledged, like, "Yeah, I should have done better." And then Brian Greasy has to come out and be like, you just can't do that after a loss. You just can't. And it's like, yeah, but like it happens all the time. Like I understand that it's not something that you like in a coach, but it's like this isn't the first time a coach has acted like in a terse manner following a loss. I mean, it happens every week to someone. Ugh, just so trashy.
Well, I think you get Joe Klatt next week. So
Yeah. It doesn't matter. There's like 5 good ones in the whole world.
that's true. They're all pretty crappy at this point.
Man, and like ESPN, like they're cutting in like during the play. This happened like they came back from commercial during the play like 7 times.
It's Notre Dame, Boston College. No one cares.
What's wrong with you guys? Like it's 12:30. It's not like they gave them like the trashy 9 a.m. Pacific
Right.
garbage.
It's like everyone's watching this.
Oh, like trying to like the ball skips off the ground and they're like, oh, it looks like I think his hands are under it. Like the ball's like 5 yards short. Like, I don't know. I think he got his hands in there. Like Sean Crawford makes a big hit. Did he lead with his shoulder, Brian? I don't know. It's dangerous play. They might want to look at that. Like trying to get the kid ejected.
Right. Ugh. All right, so who's next week for Notre Dame?
Michigan State.
Michigan State 2-0?
2-0 coming off a bye. Like a bunch of weasels they scheduled a bye prior to Notre Dame.
It's getting ready. It's in East Lansing.
Mm-hmm. 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a night game.
Oh.
Yep.
It is a 4-point spread.
Yep.
It's pretty close. I don't know anything about Michigan State. They were trying to hype it up during the SC game that like Michigan State's good this year, but I don't know.
I mean, they're undefeated.
Yeah, but it's the 4th week of the season.
They beat Western Michigan by 14. You don't know about them.
I do. They have one of the better special teams players in the nation. So
special teams.
Don't kick to him if you're playing Western Michigan.
I'm giving the points.
Ooh.
Notre Dame either is going to lose by 1 or they're going to win by 10. So I'm going to say they're going to win by 10.
Just more of that running offense.
Yeah. You know what? It reminds me of 2012 a little bit when the funny thing about the 2012 season is everyone thought that Brian Kelly was trash for like the first 5 games of that year, and then after a while, it was like, hey, I think this team might actually be pretty good. They went to Michigan State, and the first play was a false start, and then the next play was a timeout. So they had a false start and a timeout before they ran their first offensive play. And they opened the game receiving. But they ended up winning the game. Yeah, so they received the ball. They came out in the wrong formation, called timeout, and then they took a false start. That was what happened. It was pretty great. But they ended up winning 20-3. I say that because like I thought Everett Golson was kind of a goofball at this point. But he came out and played pretty solid, and I think that's what Brandon Wimbush is going to do.
So this is where they turned it around a little bit.
I think so.
Well, you'll be happy to know that Michigan State's leading passer is also their leading rusher.
Nice.
So that can't be good. Do you know who Notre Dame's leading receiver is?
It's Alize Mack.
Yeah, with the Dante Burnett, like 9 catches for 100 yards.
Yeah, I was looking at that today. The receiving stats are pretty, but Josh Adams is on pace for like 1,700 yards.
Yeah, he's got 443 if you're scoring at home on 56 carries, which is pretty really good.
Yeah, Dexter Williams on pace to average 12 yards a carry this year. Pretty great. Pretty good.
I wish I knew more about Michigan State.
I don't even want to talk about them.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about them. They're going to try to run inside the tackles.
Classic Michigan State.
Yeah, like Mark D'Antonio's going to have a scowl on his face.
Be mad about something.
Yeah, they're
maybe a fake punt or a fake field goal, though. They like to do that.
They'll probably have like a wide out or some trash. It's like they're gonna go like 6-6 this year. Like, is Notre Dame gonna be part of the winning 6 or the losing 6?
That's a great way to put it.
So,
all right. Well,
there we go.
Any other parting shots for Notre Dame before we get out of here?
Nope.
I don't think I have anything else either.
Yeah, it's late. Let's go to bed.
It's late. Let's get out of here.
Go to
Find
bed.
Greg on the Twitter. Greg, what are you, 29? What's your Twitter handle?
What? How dare you?
I know, I forgot.
This is the third season. At Greg 2126.
2126. There we go. You can find all his Notre Dame articles. uhnd.com.
Boom.
I'm Michael Muto on Twitter. Tilting Ground. Follow the podcast. Leave us a nice little comment. We appreciate them. And other than that, fight on.
Go Irish!